Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, athletes and honored guests. Welcome to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, presented by Unifor Local 444 and Central Park Athletics.
We have an amazing show for you tonight, and here to tell you more about it, your host for the evening, the man who takes the sports world to a whole new level in our community. Please help me welcome Mr. Dominic Papa.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, Windsor-Essex Sportspersons of the Year Awards. Glad to have you here. A great turnout tonight. We thank you for the support and for the continued belief in what we're doing here. So it's great to see the turnout, and certainly it makes all of us that work behind the scenes here very happy to see these type of crowds coming for our event. Before we get into all of what's going to happen here tonight, let's give a shout out to the Kubota staff for a great meal again. Every year they just do such a great job with our meal, and it goes a long way for us. Also, a shout out to a lot of the people behind the scenes that have helped us put this together tonight. As you can see, every year we try to just bring it up to another level, and I think if you look at our set and everything, the lights, the sound, we even got good audio this year. I think we've done a pretty good job in maybe getting it up a little bit higher this year. So a shout out to everybody behind the scenes. Of course, we talk about it every year, the people involved with the event, and there's two groups here tonight. Without them, it doesn't happen, and that's, of course, Unifor Local 444. They're sitting right over here. Dino, if you could stand up for a quick second. Dino Kyoto, the leader there. And also James and Leanne King from Central Park Athletics, if they could stand up quickly. Again, tremendous supporters. Of course, all of the other partners in this, and we're partners, because without you, this doesn't happen. So thank you to all of you for helping us out. The awards tonight represent the playing year from 2012, September of 2012, to 2013 of December. So we don't want any mix-ups because sometimes our selection committee people get called up and say, well, how did so-and-so not win? Or so-and-so, well, because those awards will probably carry over to next year. So when you're ready to judge our work this year, keep it in mind that it's from 2012 September to 2013, and that's what we're basing all of these awards on, okay? Speaking of the hardware, we're going to get right at it right away. So I'm going to send it over to Mr. Mark Knight.
Thanks, Tom. We're going to actually let Patty do the first announcement.
She played 3 sports at Massey and started at the Star as a summer student and never left. In 35 years, she has covered CIS, OCAA, MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, PGA, and now NBLC. She witnessed the first ever 100-meter race between Carl Lewis and Ben Johnson at the Pan Am Juniors. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Central Park Athletics, James and Leanne King, and this year's Legacy Award recipient, Mary Caton.
I'd like to thank the Wespy Committee, and in particular Dominic Papa and Royal Church, 2 men I've had the privilege to work with for a number of years, and 2 men I count as good friends. I'm fortunate to know all the past Legacy Award winners, and it is an impressive list. To hear my name mentioned with the likes of Charlie Stewart and Marge Holman and all the others is both humbling and overwhelming. And to share the award this year with Bob Marchand also holds a special place in my heart. Many will know Bob for his success as a baseball coach, but he also helped shape my career, my love of language and writing as my high school English teacher at Massey. So to share this with him tonight is truly a blessing. Thank you.
Once again, a big hand for the Female Legacy Award recipient, Mary Caton.
Our Male Legacy Award recipient, Bob was a championship athlete who lettered in 3 sports in high school. In 1961, he became an English teacher and coach, sharing his gift with baseball, hockey, and football players, one of which just won the Super Bowl.
I would like to thank Royal Church and his staff for this wonderful honor and in sharing it with my former student, Mary Caton at Massey. One of the joys of coaching athletes is the ascent into greatness momentarily. And this happened to me in 1988 in the Chatham, New Brunswick Championship Midget Series, where the Windsor Selects were playing in a championship game against Chatham, New Brunswick. The score was 3-2 for Chatham, and I was coaching third base. The first hitter that came up in the top of the seventh inning walked. The next hitter was Ken Laurie. Ken Laurie swung and wildly missed a high fastball, and I immediately called timeout. I said to Ken, "Bunt the bleeping ball." And Kenny said, "Yes, sir." So he went up and bunted it so well that he got a base hit. Now we had a man on first and second, nobody out, and I looked at the good Padre, Father Cullen, and he shrugged his shoulders. So immediately I gave the hit sign, which was a closed fist, and Chris Veter doubled to right center, scoring both runs and giving us the championship. It was indeed a magic moment. I might add that the pitcher who pitched against Chris Veter was Jason Dixon, who later played for the Los Angeles Angels. During my career, I've been blessed with wonderful athletes and coaches around me, especially coaches. At Lowell during football in the 1960s, it was Gordy Law. In baseball and football at Massey in the 70s, it was Harry Crawford and Eric Sapella. And in hockey in the 80s and 90s at Massey, it was Harold Conrad, Mike Lyons, Jim Riceberry, and Neil Anderson. Now, during my coaching career in baseball for the Selects in Riverside, it was the Solomons, Rich and Ray. It was Mark Picard, Billy Raymond, Jerry Soulier, and Tony Mazzato, and my two good friends, Frank Flanagan and Godfrey Janice. I would be remiss not to add that under the leadership of Rick Solomon, and with the support of Bernie and Chris Soulier, that the Selects now play in the PBLO, and that has been a boon to amateur baseball in Windsor. And finally, I would like to thank my dear wife, Michelle, who has given me all this support over the years, and for being such a great jock. And I also would like to thank all the athletes who passed through my door. Thank you. I would like to thank Royal.
Please welcome from our presenting partner, Unifor Local 444, Mr. Dino Chiodo, and this year's Legacy Award recipient, Bob Marchand. Once again, let's hear it for Bob Marchand.
Congratulations to Mary, congratulations to Bob. Even if Bob didn't win that award, he'd still smile. Guy never is without a smile on his face, that's for sure. Great guy to have around. And Mary, thank you for all your professionalism. Our next award, we're going to get into some of the regular awards, regular sport awards, and a group we acknowledge here each and every year is the athletes with disabilities. And if you watched some of these athletes perform, you would tell yourself they have no disabilities. They're phenomenal athletes, and we're very fortunate to have them here with us, and we're very fortunate to have them as part of the everyday sports world. In this category, in this event, 4 of the 6 nominees this year have won Wespy Awards twice. So winning is no strange things to these athletes. I'm going to send it over to Mark, or is it to Patty this time?
Yep.
Okay, Patty, you can get the nominees out for our crowd here.
Please welcome from our presenting partner, McTagg Law Firm, George King, along with his sons Hayden and Andrew. The athletes with disabilities female. Ashley Gore of the Essex Kent Ice Bullets. Virginia McLaughlin, Windsor alumni. Jenna Scaney, Windsor Aquatic Club. And the recipient for the athletes with disabilities female.
Okay.
Virginia McLaughlin, Windsor alumni.
Do the males.
Athletes with disabilities male. Tim Eckert, Windsor Bulldogs. David Grenier, Essex Kent Ice Bullets. Mike LaRochelle, Windsor Bulldogs.
Say Tim Eckert.
Tim Eckert, Windsor Bulldogs. Virginia added more medals in 2013 to her trophy case from the US, France, and London, England, and set 3 new indoor records for distance running in Canada. This year, Tim broke the bench press world record twice and was awarded the title of Best Pound-for-Pound Bench Presser in the world by the IBSA. Virginia McLaughlin and Tim Eckert, athletes with disabilities, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
All right, I think Tim Eckert's win, I believe he becomes the most decorated Wespy Award winner with that. I'll have to check the records, but certainly he's up there. I think that might be his 4th or 5th Wespy Award, so great job by Tim. All right, let's keep this thing moving. I'm wondering what's going on with this mic, but we'll let them use my mic when they come up here, and so that our audience can hear this. Fastball, baseball categories up next. Of course, the women, it's fastball, and the men, we have our baseball. And in fastball, it has been the Wildcats and St. Clair College that have dominated this award. On the baseball side, the Selects program has won 5 out of the first 8 baseball awards. Let's throw it over to Mark, and he'll get us all the nominees.
Thanks, Tom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Harold Remark, Royal LePage Binder Real Estate. Female fastball, Alexa Georgiou, St. Clair College, Windsor Wildcats. Amelia Maniak, St. Clair College, Windsor Wildcats. Skylar Pattison, St. Clair College. Male baseball, Kyle Breitner, St. Clair College. Eric Cunningham, Tecumseh Thunder Juniors. Steve Tino, Windsor Stars.
And the baseball winner is Eric Cunningham. The fastball winner is Alexia Giorgio.
In college, Alexa was the OCAA All-Star Pitcher and Player of the Year for the Wildcats. She pitched every inning in every game, including 7 games in one day. A 3-time national tournament champion, an MVP, and All-Star, Eric plays 5 different positions, was the most improved player and team captain. Eric Cunningham and Alexa Giorgio, Fastball Baseball 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. Keep this going here for you. Follow my script or else our producer's going to fire me, so. Our next, no, we're going to go to the interview zone, I think. We got to give it up for a lady that's worked hard with us for a number of years. She does great work at AM 800 CKLW, one of our broadcast partners here tonight. We're going to go over to the Drive Logistics interview zone, and let's welcome Miss Kara Rowe.
Thanks, Dom. I am here with the Director of Athletics, Mike Havey. Now, Mike, you and I go way back. You were coaching men's basketball when I played volleyball at the U. Yes, and I mean, that you've been putting so much time into the University of Windsor. Officially named Director April 2nd. Tell me how that feels.
Well, it's pretty gratifying. 23 years, well, my 24th year at the University of Windsor. It was actually an interview question that I got asked when I was interviewing for basketball coach. They asked me after I'd screwed that up, what job would I want next? So I turned to Bob Boucher and said to him, well, Bob, I'd really kind of like your job.
And so you finally achieved it. Now, what does it feel? Like, how does it feel to be in that position? I mean, obviously a dream position.
Well, Kara, we've come off a great year, obviously. I mean, I was acting for the last year. We started off with a National Baseball Championship in October, followed up by a Final Four soccer appearance by our men and a bronze medal. Of course, our women's basketball team won their 4th consecutive CIS championship at home in March. Just prior to that, our track team won an OUA championship, which was a little unexpected. And then what was, the icing on the cake was really kind of a Cinderella finish by our men's ice hockey team, who won the Queen's Cup for the 2nd time in the institution's history.
Now, do you ever feel that pressure? How do you build upon that? I mean, to have so many championship teams, teams that go national, come away with national titles, it's unbelievable.
Well, Kara, really, it's not about pressure. I mean, really, it's about, my job is to be an enabler. We've got a lot of great people in place already. If I can, do what I can to get them the tools that they need to succeed, you put good people in a good position, they'll achieve incredible things.
It's amazing to watch you guys year after year. Now, talk to me about these Wespy Awards. You see how many Lancers are being nominated, teams, coaches. How does that feel?
Well, we're just honored to be a part of this. This is the 9th year, and we've got 9 athletes nominated tonight. So I'm not sure if that means there'll be 10 next year, but we're certainly happy to be a part of it. It's really gratifying to see the growth of this event, and it's just a great community event to recognize all of the great things that are happening in so many sports in Windsor and Essex County.
Well, congratulations on all the Lancer success and your own personal success.
Thanks, Kara.
All right, let's send it back up to Dominic Papa.
I'll go back to this, Mike. Yeah, give it up for Mike Havey, though, just assuming the job as Director of Athletics. We wish Mike luck with that role. We're going to go to the next sport, the sport of basketball. We have great basketball in our area. The St. Clair College team had a great season on the women's side. The men are getting better. And, of course, the men and women at the University of Windsor are always ranked among the top 10. And we have some of the best high school teams in the province. There's no question about that. In the last 2 years of this award at the Wespys, the Lancers have taken both the female and male awards. So can they three-peat? Let's go to Patty for the nominees.
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, BMO, Cam Malakavita. For female basketball, Jessica Clemenson, Windsor Lancers. Maya Marie Langlois, Windsor Lancers. Kendall Rizia, St. Clair College. For male basketball, Darren Duncan, Windsor Express. Michael Mulder, Catholic Central High School. Leon Phillip, Windsor Lancers.
Our male winner isn't here tonight, but he has an excuse. He's playing right now. That's Darren Duncan. And the female winner is Maya Marie Langlois.
2013 saw Maya Marie as CIS and OUA Defensive Player of the Year, OUA First Team All-Star, and FISU Team Canada Captain as a starting point guard and leading scorer. Darren was the piece of the puzzle the Express were looking for. He led the league in assists and averaged 16.6 points per game and was third in the league with 82 steals. Maya Marie Langlois and Darren Duncan. Accepting for Darren Duncan, CEO and co-owner of the Windsor Express, Dardis Willis. Basketball, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break from giving out the awards because, again, we want to acknowledge some very special people throughout the evening. And one of the special groups here tonight, we met them a little bit earlier. I want to bring them back up because, again, they've been on board since day one, I believe. They've been on board with the Wespys in various capacities. And for the last 4 years, they've been our presenting partner. Can't say enough about this group. They just saved a lot of jobs at the Casino Windsor, or Caesars Windsor. They negotiated a great contract to keep our city moving. They continue to work hard in our community, and I can't tell you how many sports groups this group supports. I want to bring up the president of the Unifor 444 group, Mr. Dino Chiodo.
Dominic, I want to thank you very much. I appreciate the warm welcome. I want to thank everybody for being here today for the 9th Annual Wespy Awards. I'm actually excited to be here. There's such a charge, and I feel such an excitement in the room. It just makes me proud to be able to say that we're here in support of all the athletes and all the individuals that are going to be nominated, and especially the winners for those particular awards. So again, like I was introduced, my name is Dino. I'm the president of Unifor Local 444, and it really is an honor to participate in tonight's event. We do as much as we can with regards to promoting our youth, making sure that we can look after what we can in providing what they need to accomplish their goal. And that's really participating in sports, doing what they can, and from that perspective, making them or try to make them achieve their goal, and that's being the best that they can be. Before I go any further, though, I'd like to really recognize Dominic Papa. I'd like to also recognize his committee for an amazing job bringing this together and providing us this opportunity to recognize our young athletes. So thank you very much, Dominic, and your committee. I also want to recognize an individual in his own right who has basically helped put Canadian football on the map. Done an amazing job to bring a Super Bowl win to his team, and I'd like to recognize Joe Theismann for all your efforts, your wonderful work, and I look forward to hearing from you a little later on this afternoon. As you know, Unifor Local 444 participates in a lot of youth sports. And through our sports club 444, we've been able to really raise funds over the last 25 years. That's 2.5 decades. And what we've been able to achieve over those 25 years is raising over $1 million to be able to put that money back into youth sports in our community. And what that means is we've been able to give funds to different organizations, whether it be schools, whether it be different team functions, whether it was in hockey, football, soccer, any type of sport that people could participate in up to the age of 18. And we put that back into our community, making sure that we can touch those individuals, because that's part of their success. It's part of who they are. It's part of them finding out what they can accomplish and what they can achieve. And we're grateful and happy that we can continue to achieve that task and goal through Unifor Local 444 and being a community partner. We want to continue to play an active role in the lives of our youth, and that's why we want to continue to process what we're doing here with regards to the Wespy Awards. So in saying that, on behalf of Local 444 Unifor, I want to congratulate all the nominees. I want to congratulate those winners that are capable of achieving that task and goal and getting that award and being successful and being nominated. And from that, I want to thank everybody for participating, because the youth are our future, and it's important for us to recognize their efforts in achieving what they want to do, and that's being a pinnacle individual and making sure they can be the very best that they try to be. So on behalf of Unifor Local 444, we give our very best to the Wespys, and at the same time, we thank everybody for participating, because after all, it is looking after our youth that's important. Thank you very much.
Dino's pretty shy, eh? All right. Well, Mr. Theismann will like this next category. It's our football category. And we've had some greats here. We've had players go on to the CFL. We've had players go on to scholarships. One of our players, Tyrone Crawford, is playing with the Dallas Cowboys right now. He was our Male Athlete of the Year at the 5th Annual Wespy Awards. So our football community is well represented. A lot of great football people here tonight. We have the Essex Ravens with Ross Pettigrew and the gang back there, Mike Morency and the AKO Fraternity, and of course we have the University of Windsor here, and a number of great high school players as well. So, with that said, Mark, you have some football information, I believe, for us.
But before we get to football, I'd like to also welcome some very special guests this evening. Our servicemen, please hold your applause until the end. From the HMCS Hunter, Master Seaman Peter Bratt. The Windsor Regiment, Sergeant John Mysack. The Essex and Kent Scottish, Corporal Ahmad Hawilo and Major John Hodgins. From the 31st Silver Service Battalion, Sergeant Robert Bialkowski. Gentlemen, please stand. We owe these men and their comrades a great service, for they stand up for us when we cannot. Thank you, gentlemen. It's an honor to have you in the room this evening. And now to our Gino Fracas football category. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Penalty Box Restaurant, Van Niferis, joined by Leona Fracas. The Gino Fracas football nominees: Mason Beekis, AKO Fratman; Austin Crum, AKO Fratman; Khalil James, Catholic Central High School, Essex Ravens.
And this year's football recipient is Mason Beekhouse.
Mason Beekis was a member of the OFC champions. He was the AKO and OFC sack leader, as well as the OFC and CJFL Defensive Player of the Year. Mason Beekis, Gino Fracas Football, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipient.
All right. What do you think so far, folks? Not bad? All right. Keep it going. I think we're going to give out our next piece of hardware, and We're going to get into some golf talk. Of course, golf just around the corner here. A lot of great golfing to take in our area. Alyssa Getty, of course, won her first Wespy Award last year. She's looking to make it 2 in a row. Bryce Evon has won the last 2 male golf awards. Can he make it 3? Let's find out who the nominees are, Patty.
Thanks, Don. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Barron's Champion Rings, Peter Canis. Female golf, Alyssa Getty of Kingsville Golf and Country Club. Sarah Holland, Kingsville Golf and Country Club. Emily Statter, Roseland Golf Club. For male golf, Bryce Evon, Roseland Golf Club. Doug Hoppy, Essex Golf and Country Club. Brandon Mahalo, Roseland Golf Club.
And the male, Bryce Evon.
With a bronze at the Royal Cup, silver at the Provincials, Alyssa Getty went on to win all 6 events on the Jameson Tour and was Player of the Year. Bryce won 5 of 6 required events on tour, including 4 consecutive wins to close out the tour, and has recently helped the University of Michigan to a 3rd place finish. Alyssa Getty and Bryce Evon, golf, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients. Bryce couldn't be here tonight. He's being honored for Rookie of the Year at the U of M. Accepting the award for Bryce is his father, Mark Evon. And accepting the award for Alyssa, her mother, Michelle Getty. We'll be right back to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, sponsored in part by LaSalle Travel, J.P. Thompson and Associates, and Holiday Inn and Suites.
Imagine a place to climb, to tumble, to fly, to run, to glide, to achieve, where a sense of health, friendly competition, and growth all come together. Can you imagine that place, that destination? We have, and we're building it right now in Windsor, with a planned development of almost 200,000 square feet of athletic playground, and that's just on the inside. Central Park Athletics, some of it's already here, the rest is coming soon. Imagine that.
Plan to dream. Plan to learn. Plan to smile. Plan to succeed. Plan to invest. Plan to nurture. Plan to leave to others. Investors Group. Let us help you provide for the people you care about, now and over time. The Plan by Investors Group.
Welcome back to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, sponsored in part by the Penalty Box Restaurant and Drive Logistics. Here's Dominic Papa.
Thanks a lot, Patty. And we're going to continue on, keep this show moving. And now we get into one of our major awards, again, our second major award of the night. And this award is very special to us. All of the awards are special to us, but this one has a little bit, maybe a little more spice to it because of the gentleman that it's named after. It's the Nobby Knutson Volunteer of the Year Award. And of course, many of us in this room here tonight have been touched by Nobby one way or another. He worked tirelessly for our sports community, for the kids, to get equipment for them, to raise funds for whatever it may be, ice time, gym time, whatever he could do, Nobby was there for us. So in keeping Nobby's memory alive, we obviously put together the Nobby Knutson Volunteer of the Year Award. I'm going to throw it back over to Mark, and he's going to talk about this year's recipients. Mark?
Thanks, Dom. Yes, the Volunteer of the Year award is a very, very special award. And this year, she has been a valued member of the Windsor Stars Soccer Club from the very beginning. She is a Jack, make that a Jill of all trades, being involved in every aspect of the team.
Thank you very much. I am honored to be the recipient of the Wespy Volunteer of the Year Award. And when Royal Church called to tell me I was selected, I was shocked because I never thought of getting an award. But being the Volunteer of the Year can never be one person's award as it takes. Several people and volunteers to make this award possible. First, I want to recognize and thank all the volunteers, past and the current, of the Windsor Stars Soccer Club. There are people who show up and do whatever you ask of them without any questions asked. I would like to start with the students that came in for community hours to support our needs and helping us out. I like to thank all of the East Side girls who gave back to the sport and all the volunteers that gave their time by working the gates, selling merchandise, working the concession stand, beer tents, and all the tasks that made it easier for the Stars to focus on their team and giving you the city a winning environment. To my family, thank you for all your support and your sacrifice you have made for me. Again, I thank all of you for today and letting me be a part of the better things to come. In closing, everyone in this room knows how hard it is to run a successful sports team and the challenges you face. So I encourage all of you to come out and support the Stars and all of our local talent. Thank you.
David Lesbrance is completing his 21st year with the Windsor Stars Baseball Club. He is best described as someone who is the first to arrive at the ballpark and the last to leave. He is always ready and willing to do anything that's asked of him.
Well, the volunteer work I do, I help out with baseball, I help out with basketball now, I do a handicap dirt league on Tuesday nights. Whenever somebody needs something done, I usually put my name out there and give them my number, and if they give me a call, they give me a call. If they don't, they don't. It's a good thing to accept this award. I never heard about this award before, but I never got nominated before, so it's a great honor that I accept this award.
Please welcome from our presenting partners, Hogan's Printing, Mr. Dan Hogan, and Nobby's grandson, Zach Knudsen, along with the Nobby Knudsen Female and Male Volunteer of the Year recipients, Deanna Turton and David Lesbrance.
Yeah, without those volunteers, you know what? It's pretty hard to get a lot of good things done. So very valuable people, the volunteers that we have in our community. Next sport is the sport of soccer. World Cup 2014 this summer, so soccer will be hot and heavy, and no doubt, again, in our area, we have tremendous soccer at all levels, high school, at the university, at St. Clair College. Even our club teams, the Windsor Stars, have made great strides in soccer circles. The high school girls in this sport have been pretty dominant here, winning the Wespy Awards, while on the male side, it's a close race between the Windsor Stars, St. Clair College, and the University of Windsor. So Patty, why don't you tell us who the nominees are this year?
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, MBSP Accounting, Angelo Battisti. For female soccer, Julia Baril of the Windsor Lancers. Bella Habuda, Bell River District High School, Tecumseh Warriors. Maria Jeremila, Holy Names Catholic High School. For male soccer, David Kadoik, Windsor Stars. Dijo Alibegi, Windsor Lancers, Windsor Stars. Mike Pio, Windsor Lancers, Windsor Stars.
And the female recipient, Julia Burrell. And the male recipient, Mike Pio.
As a high school senior, Julia was team captain and WEXA finalist, which earned a scholarship to the University of Windsor and was named freshman captain. Scored 11 goals for the University of Windsor and 7 more for the Windsor Stars. Mike was an OUA All-Star and has a bronze medal to show for it. Julia Baril and Mike Pio, soccer, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
All right, good soccer, good stuff. We're going to get into one of our favorite sports, of course, the sport of hockey. And boy, we've got 2 teams in our area this year, the Essex 73s and the Leamington Flyers. Hey, give those 2 teams a round of applause. My, oh my, are they ever lighting it up? The 73s getting set to battle for a Schmaltz Cup for the provincial title. Good luck to them. And the Leamington Flyers, of course, in the Sutherland Cup semifinals, in tough with St. Catharines, but 2 great years for both those clubs. Speaking of the hockey award, the Ed Jovanovski Hockey Award, the Windsor Spitfires, boy, they've really pretty much almost taken ownership of this award. They've won the last 6 straight Ed Jovanovski Hockey Awards. Can they make it 7? Let's find out. I'm going to throw it over to Mark.
Thanks, Tom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Stuart Fisher and Associates, Jason Maleko. Our female hockey nominees, Elisa Balden, Windsor Lancers. Laura Monfortin, Southwest Wildcats. Courtney Spoors, Windsor Lancers. The male nominees, Corey Bolya, Essex 73s. Dylan Denemy, LaSalle Vipers. Kirby Reichel, Windsor Spitfires.
And the female winner is Elisa Balden. And the male winner is Corey Bolio.
Elisa finished her university career as leading scorer and MVP for the Lancers and was honored with the University of Windsor's inaugural Female Captain's Trophy Award. As leading scorer and MVP of his league, Corey led his team to a 2nd straight title. His work ethic, humbleness, and community involvement earned him high praise. Elisa Balden and Corey Bolya, Ed Jovanovski Hockey, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients. The Wespy Awards have always been about the athletes and their accomplishments in their particular sport. This year, the committee has decided to give special recognition, not for any particular sport, but more about what it takes to be a winner. It's not about the ribbons or the medals or the records. Here to present the first ever Wespy Awards for courage and determination, please welcome back to the stage, Mr. George King.
First, I want to start by echoing Dino's words. Dominic, you're a gem. What you do for this community is beyond belief. Thank you so much for doing this and everything you do for our community. I think I would also be remiss if I didn't take a minute to remind everyone that this is the 1-year anniversary of a date in which some soulless knuckleheads, and those are my radio words, in Boston, decided to take the lives of some people and create some permanent athletes with disabilities, or people who had the audacity to want to run 26.2 miles and not a political bone in their body. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't take a second just to remember, and we're honored, Mr. Theismann, that you're here on this very special day because you exemplify everything that was about Boston.
Well said, George.
When I first learned that we were going to be fortunate to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback and man of integrity like Joe Theismann here to speak at the 9th Annual Wespys, I told Dominic Papa that we needed to create an award, a special award for exactly the purpose that Dominic just described, an award that embodies all that Joe Theismann represents both on and off the field. For this reason, my wife Kimberly and I and our family are proud to sponsor the first ever Wespy Award for courage and determination. Holly Levine is a lot like many other young girls that are hanging out at her age with her friends, loves going to the gym and doing gymnastics. You know, fun stuff. Well, that love was taken away in February of 2013 when this 11-year-old competitive gymnast fell off the uneven bars during a practice routine. She broke both her arms at the elbow. She says, I was in the middle of doing a skill and I tried to stop and ended up falling. I put my arms out and hit the mat and started to cry because of the pain. When I looked down, my one arm was kind of sticking out the wrong way. Holly was taken to the hospital and in the following days underwent emergency surgery to correct the radius bone in her left arm. A pin was inserted in the elbow of her right arm, and for weeks both arms were in cast that stretched from shoulder to wrist. But this competitive gymnast wasn't ready to give up her sport. And by the end of March, she was begging her mom to take her back to the gym. She knew she couldn't obviously use her arms, so she would do core exercises and other things that didn't require her arms. Holly's determination never waned, and she refused to give up on gymnastics. She endured months of rehab with a local physiotherapist, and by the end of June, started back slowly. I miss my friends so much, she said. I just didn't like sitting at home and doing nothing. I just wanted to get back. She was used to training close to 20 hours a week, and her drive and determination paid off. And less than 10 months after her accident, she was second overall in her first qualifier in December, took second place in her second qualifier, and nabbed third place overall several weeks ago. As she heads into the provincials this month, there seems to be nothing holding her back. Holly says, I love competing. I really love doing all the skills. I was a bit nervous when I first got back on the bars, but not anymore. Her mom, Kathy, said, I still find it tough to watch her on the bars. I worry about her falling again all the time. I suppose it could have been worse, so I try to remember that. But she's so devoted and never complains. You have to admire that. This is what she loves doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Holly Levine and her mother, Kathy.
Joe's up there. Very cool. We're just signaling somebody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the stage from one of our major partners, Investors Group, Mr. Trevor LeDrew.
Good evening. It is my pleasure, and I'm very pleased to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, a Super Bowl champion, veteran NFL broadcaster, and a successful entrepreneur. Mr. Joe Theismann graduated in 1991 from the University of Notre Dame, where he received All-American honors and led the Fighting Irish to consecutive Cotton Bowls. In that year, he was also the runner-up to Jim Plunkett in the Heisman Trophy balloting. In 2003, Mr. Theismann was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Joe began his professional career in 1971 with the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League, after being drafted by the Miami Dolphins and Major League Baseball's Minnesota Twins. A 12-year NFL veteran, Joe played in 163 consecutive games from 1974 to 1985 and holds the Washington Redskins records for passing yards, completions, and attempts. A two-time Pro Bowl selection, Joe led the Washington Redskins to a 27-17 victory over the Miami Dolphins in Super Bowl 17. Yeah. Joe was selected the NFL's Man of the Year in 1982 for his community service and his dedication to the health and welfare of children. He won the league's 1983 Most Valuable Player Award for leading the Redskins to an NFL record 541 points and a second consecutive Super Bowl appearance. His career ended abruptly in 1985 after sustaining a broken leg during a game against the New York Giants on national television. He spent the last 2 decades working on ESPN and their NFL broadcasts and also the NFL Network. He is also a much sought-after motivational speaker. Joe also oversees a popular Washington, D.C. restaurant that bears his name and is the author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Understanding Football Like a Pro. Recently, Joe was named recipient of the 2013 Walter Camp Football Foundation Distinguished American Award. Please join me in welcoming, nicknamed the Squirmin' German, Mr. Joe Theismann.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate that. Dominic, I also would like to, as so many have echoed here today, our appreciation for your hard work and everybody that's involved in the Wespys. Everything that you do to support these athletes, you're really not just supporting athletes, but what you're doing is building a future here in Windsor for the young men and young women that compete in sports. It really is a pleasure and honor for me to travel this way. When I spent my 3 years in Toronto, I felt like I'd found a home in Canada. When I come back and cross the bridge to come from Detroit today, I felt like I came back home to Canada because of the appreciation and affection so many have shown towards me in the time that I've been here. I do also want to speak to the award winners here this evening, as well as those that were nominated for the awards. I congratulate each and every one of you that have received awards and those that will receive awards after me. But let us not be mistaken and think that those that did not actually receive the award are losers. They're competitors. They're people that go out every day and try and become better at what they do. And that's really what life's all about when we stop and think about it. Every time we wake up in the morning, we want to be a little bit better than we were yesterday. And we're going to deal with changes in our lives. I certainly have gone through a couple significant changes that have shaped who I am. First of all, Trevor's kind enough to introduce me as Joe Theismann. I appreciate that very much. But I'm actually not Joe Theismann. I'm actually Joe Theismann from South River, New Jersey. This is a story that's been circulated. I'd like to set the record straight this evening. When I was a senior at the University of Notre Dame, our sports information director, Roger Valdeseri, called me in the office. He said, "Joe, how do you pronounce your last name?" I said, "It's Theismann." He said, "No, it's not. It's Theismann." I said, "No, it's not. It's Theismann." He said, "No, it's not. It's Theismann." I said, "Give me the phone." Picked up the phone, called my father back home in New Jersey. Anytime I ever had a question for my father, he'd always say, "Fire away, son." So I dialed my dad up, got him on the phone, and said, "Pop, got this question for you." He says, "Fire away, Joey." I said, "Dad, tell me, how do you pronounce our last name?" Dead silence on the phone. About 30 seconds goes by, my dad comes on. He says, "Son, you truly do have a problem, don't you? You're a senior in college. You don't know who you are." What have you been doing for the last 3 years? I said, Dad, please just tell me, how do you pronounce our last name? He said, it's Theismann. I said, I'll explain later. Hung the phone up. Turned to Mr. Valdez. I said, Roger, look, my last name is Theismann. I know. I just have to phone with my dad. He said, Joe, I want to tell you something. There's a trophy out there called the Heisman Trophy. He goes, the best college football player in the country. We think you have a chance to win that trophy, but we're not just going to count on your athletic ability. Heck no. We're not even going to count on the reputation of the University of Notre Dame, but we think by just simply changing the pronunciation of your last name from Theismann to Theismann to Ryan with Theismann, we can get you that trophy. That's how I wound up becoming Joe Theismann. There are certain ways that we get to points in our lives, but what's so interesting about that particular change in my life is 5 years after my name was changed, the pronunciation of my name. I was having dinner with my mother and father. We were talking about a lot of different things, and I turned to my dad over the dinner table and said, Pop, got a question for you. He said, fire away, Joey. I said, Dad, tell me, how do you pronounce our last name? He studied me for a second. He said, it's Theismann. Why are you asking? So the changes that we go through in our lives stay with us. That's why every one of you that has competed, every one of you that will be recognized tonight for the awards that are being given out, cherish these moments. Appreciate the effort that you put in just to be nominated. I finished second in the Heisman Trophy. I'm not a good second at anything. And I know no one in this room as well, because next year there will be another Wespy opportunity. And maybe someone will be a little bit different than we've seen in the categories that have been dominated. But that's up to you as an individual. Every day we wake up, we impact our lives. What's important to understand is that we want to impact others' lives as well, because we're given a blessing. I was given a right arm. The good Lord blesses us with different talent, whether it's beauty, whether it's knowledge, whether it's athletic gifts. No matter what it is, it's a gift. What do you do with gifts? Gifts are something to be given, not just taken and held on to. And that's what we have in this room. We have so many gifted individuals and such wonderful support by everyone here this evening. It's certainly appreciated. And that was the first change that I had to deal with in my life. The second had to do with a date in November 18th, 1985. It was a night when some of you may have shared it with me. It was a night when the Washington Redskins played the New York Giants on Monday Night TV. I've become the godfather of broken legs. I know Holly now is the little goddaughter of broken arms. She has that going for her right now. But I want to take you back prior to 1985, that particular night, because as Trevor outlined, I had been very fortunate in my professional football career to receive a number of awards, an MVP award, a world championship. Those were all great awards, but the problem was this. I thought it was because of my efforts. I thought it was because of me. What I really had become through that period of time was an individual that thought that the world revolved around him, and that team couldn't win without me because I was Joe Theismann. You could turn on a TV, pick up a newspaper, listen to a radio, you hear Theismann leads Redskins. If you didn't believe any of that, please just ask me. I'd have been happy to tell you just how good I really was. I had become so self-absorbed I couldn't see what was going on around me till November 18th, 1985. And I know the good Lord played a big part in my life and still does today as I think back to that evening, because I remember everything that happened. I remember walking into that locker. I remember sitting down. And I remember doing what every one of us in this room and so many of you at home do from time to time. And that's sit and have a heart-to-heart with yourself. Why have I chosen this profession? Why am I doing this? What's happened in my life? Why has it happened at this particular time? We sit down and analyze those questions in our minds. It's our own way of having a heart-to-heart. For me, it was to analyze the situation. We were in the midst of a lousy season. I personally was not playing well. And I sat down and I stared at the wall and I said, all right, Joe, it's the Giants. It's Monday Night TV. What a tremendous opportunity this is going to be for you. That is my favorite word, ladies and gentlemen. Life is one sensational opportunity. You just have to capitalize on it. You can't let it slide by. Recognize it. Pursue it. But when it presents itself, be ready to grab and hold on. That's what opportunity was. And I thought this was going to be it. This was my chance to Show the world that Joe Theismann that I love so much was back. Oh, I got up from my locker. I started out of that locker room. And as you look around this room, you see exit signs. Picture below that exit sign the Redskin logo. Not some cute, shiny little star that some people wear on their helmets. I would say that apologetically if I wasn't a Redskin. But I love to kid the Dallas Cowboys. They were to me always the barometer of excellence when I played in the National Football League. I respected so much what they do, and still to this day. But they're so much fun to have when they're losing. I can't say much. The Redskins were in the same situation a year ago. But we used to have that Redskin logo right underneath that exit sign. For 12 years as the quarterback of the Washington Redskins, I used to leave that locker room, strike that logo for good luck, and never said a word. But on this particular night, for some reason, I got up from my locker. I started out of that locker room. I hit that logo, and I said these words, "Tonight your life's going to change, Joe." Little did I realize I was into prophecy. My world was about to change like I could never imagine. Went on that field 7 for 10, threw a touchdown pass. Figured, look out, world, Joey's back. The Joe Theismann that I love so much is back. We turned to start the second quarter. Coach Gibbs calls a flea flicker. Simply put, I turned around, took the snap from center, handed the ball to John Riggins. He started towards the line, thinking we would fool the Giants. They should all be up there trying to tackle John. He turns around, pitches the ball back to me. I look down the field for my receiver. He was covered. I looked to my right for my safety valve. He was covered. Then I felt a little pressure coming from the left side. It was Lawrence Taylor. As I moved to the right, Lawrence grabbed my left shoulder. I swung around. He wouldn't let go. Then his LT came around his right leg, caught my right leg between the knee and the ankle. And right where that speaker sits off to my left, I heard a pow, pow. Sounded like 2 muzzled gunshots, but actually it was my right leg breaking. I had a compound fracture of my lower right leg. I laid there on the field, seemed like it was an eternity. Only about 5 minutes. Standing above me was Bill Parcells looking down at me going, Joe, I'm sorry. I'm going, Bill, so am I. Joe Gibbs came running out, knelt down, looked in my eyes. He said, Joe, for 6 years we've been together. Joe, you've meant so much to this football team. Joe, this is a heck of a mess you've left me in. I said, I'm sorry. Within 5 minutes of breaking my leg, I'd seen 2 people. I'd apologized to both of them. They started to wheel me out of that stadium, and 55,000 people stood up and gave this selfish man an ovation like he'd never heard before in his life. 55,000 people said thank you to a man who thought he needed absolutely no one. And ladies and gentlemen, if nothing else, please remember this tonight. You cannot, will not, nor ever hope to be a true success in life if you think you do it by yourself. Each one of you that has received an individual award tonight will be the first to say that you couldn't do it without the coaching, without the support of the school, without everybody in and on the organization and the team. Because you just can't do it by yourself. I learned that. But in 1985, my world had come to a crumbling end in the world of professional football. I didn't really understand anything outside of it. I was a football player. I didn't really get into business. I had not become the person I wanted to be. I deteriorated as an individual. So at the age of 35, I had to rebuild a life. Start over. But I went back to the fundamentals in the world of athletics that I'd learned as a Pop Warner football player, that I'd learned as a Little League baseball player, that I learned as a Youth League basketball player. And those are the foundations that I rebuilt my life. And that's why the Wespys are so vitally important. We are not here tonight just recognizing athletes. What we are doing is we are recognizing young men and young women that will be future leaders for us going forward. That's who we recognize here tonight. And like I say, for those of you that may not have stood up here and had your picture taken, that should not detract you or deter you from where you want to go in your life. Use the world of athletics. Take the lessons that you learn and move forward with it. That's what we're given the opportunity to do. But I had to start over, like I said. The first thing I thought about in my life is, what do they teach us in athletics? They teach us goals, places to go, something to do. What do you want in life? It's funny how we look at life. In business, we write down goals all the time. In sports, you can go to any locker room anywhere in the world, and you see written down the goals for that particular team. And then I was flying one day, and I happened to read an article. It said 98% of the people in the world refuse to take a pen in hand and write down a goal. And I've always wondered to myself, In the world of business, we write down goals. In the world of sports, we write down goals. But yet in our own lives, we don't identify what we want and where we want to go. How are we ever going to accomplish it? I ask every one of you in this room tonight, and every one of you watching, take the time to think about what you want in your life. And then what price are you willing to pay? I see Holly, a young lady, 2 broken arms. Very easily could have said, Mom, you know, I just don't want to go back on those bars. But yet here she is in competition, getting ready to go out and compete at another level. She is a young lady who perseveres, who has a passion. By golly, if you don't have a passion for what you do, get out of the business. Get out of life. Get out of the sport. If you don't love it, you're never going to be good at it. You have to care about it. You have to want it so bad. I was blessed. I grew up 2 blocks from my high school and my grammar school. Wasn't hard to find me. Just make a right-hand turn out of the front door and I was there. I loved what I did. And now I love the opportunity to watch young men and young women grow and become something special. When I talk about passion, I think of sacrifice. Little story I tell with regards to a good friend of mine by the name of Ronnie Lott, great safety of the San Francisco 49ers, multiple Pro Bowler, multiple world champion. End of the 85 season, Ronnie breaks a little finger on his hand. Doctor says, Ronnie, we operate on that. You're going to miss the playoff shot. You're going to miss the opportunity for the playoffs and a shot at another ring. So what's my option? He said, we can amputate the upper part of your finger. You won't miss a day of work. What do you want to do? Without hesitation, he says, cut it off. I said, yeah, sure. Hear a story like that and you wonder, why would someone do this? With his reputation, he was a Hall of Famer, best strong safety in football, multiple world champion. Why? Why would he do that? So I saw him, of all places, at a golf tournament. I walked up and I said, Ronnie, let me see your left hand. Yep, 9 2/3 fingers. I went, wow, it really is true. Then I asked him my second favorite word, why? Why'd you do this? And then I went through the litany of who he was and what he'd accomplished. You know what he said to me? It was very interesting. He said, Joe, they wanted me to miss a day of work. They wanted me to miss a day of work. I've been very blessed to receive a number of awards through my career in my life. But yet the thing that I am singularly most proud of is that I played in 163 consecutive football games. I never missed a day of work. I am so proud that I could be counted on to be there every day. And as you aspire as young athletes to continue to go forward in your life, keep in mind the commitment that you make. It's not just to yourself, but it's the people that count on you to be there. So the first thing I worked on was my goals. Next thing I worked on, when you had what happened to me in my life, the change that went, is your attitude. Attitudes precede everything we do in our lives. Think about it. You got up this morning, you walked in the bathroom, you threw the light switch on, you looked in the mirror. What were the first words out of your mouth? Oh, God. You didn't wake up this morning, walk in that bathroom, throw the light switch on, go, woo! That's different. See, I've lost my mother and father both in the last 3 years, and I think of the little momisms that we have. And I say this to every one of you out there, the young people out there. Love your parents. Cherish your parents. Do more than just listen to their words, but heed and hear what they're saying. Because there may come a point and a time in your life when you can't pick up the telephone. And if you do, there's no one on the other end. And that's why I look back and I wish I'd paid more heed at times, but yet I think of the things that my mom shared with me. When it came to congratulating myself and thinking that I can do things, my mom used to say all the time, Joey, you never ever can bring anybody into your world until you're happy with who you are. You have to be happy with who you are. Be satisfied. Don't worry about changing. Don't worry about becoming someone else. Be happy with who you are. That's why you've gotten where you have. The other thing is, too, I talked about the fact that I used to get a little cocky, a little full of myself, and people have always tried to bring my feet down to earth. Toronto, Canada, about 8 years ago, seated here today is 3,000 people in the audience. I'm the guest speaker, feeling mighty darned important. They bring out my entree, baked potatoes, 6 rolls. They give me 1 pat of butter. Decent at management, not that good. Throw the butter on the potato. Turn the young man behind me, say, excuse me, son, look, another pat of butter. He says, no. I said, whoa, time out. I am Joe Theismann. See, all these people have come to me speak. I don't know the pat of butter. He said, sir, I know who you are. You're a great football player. I said, thank you very much. He said, you were MVP of the National Football League. I said, thank you very much. He said, you won a Super Bowl. I said, thank you very much. He said, sir, do you know who I am? I said, no, I don't. He said, I'm the kid in charge of the butter. You get one pat of butter. Brought my feet down to earth. It's a humbling experience. Attitudes do precede everything we do in our lives. Think about it. Why do you think the Packers love to play in Lambeau? You look at our basketball teams competing here tonight in the sixth game of an opportunity to win a championship. Why do you think they're thrilled to be at home? Why do you think they had an 8-point lead going into end of the first half? We're keeping an eye on that one. Why do you think I love to play at RFK? Why do you think the Browns love to be on the road? Any of you that are simulcasting in Cleveland, I'm sorry. Times are changing, but I'm basing this off of past results. I love the kid, the Brownies. I think they're going to be a heck of a football team this year. At least they hope so. But I mean, if you're going to do something, like, get excited about it. Life equals energy. Think of it. That's what we are on an athletic team. Isn't it amazing how all of a sudden you go along, go to any baseball game, go to a Tiger game, sit there, and all of a sudden the game's going along. Now the crowd gets involved. Now the organ starts playing. People get excited. All of a sudden, Cabrera, boom, home run. Verlander, 6 straight strikeouts. All of a sudden, it's done. And now you're into it. It's energy. Life's about energy. For those of you that compete, take it to another level. Take it to another level. Push yourself. We don't know how good we can be. That's the interesting thing about life. We don't know, because when we train ourselves, we push to a certain limit. I see Tim Eckert, right? Tim, where are you? Incredible. I think he's over there. He is over here. Tim's unbelievable. I just think to do what you have done, and I want to congratulate all of those athletes here tonight, especially those that are what we perceive as disabled, but I know in your heart, nothing stops you. It's an interesting thing. I remember reading a book one day, and they talked about training when it came to Olympic training. The way certain athletes trained is they had no idea. They took the numbers off the plates of the bars that they were lifting. They had no earthly idea how much weight was on. They lifted until they couldn't lift anymore. Why should we place restrictions on how good we can be? See, I think about my life as a ladder. And this world championship ring, when I had the opportunity to win it, that became my top rung. Gosh, was I wrong. Because Tom Brady has 3. Joe Montana has 3. That's a few more rungs up the ladder. Terry Bradshaw has 4. Joe has 4 of that. Eli Manning has 2. You think Peyton Manning is satisfied with 1? The Broncos have loaded up to give him another opportunity to go again at it. Don't ever let your life feel like it has a top rung. Keep going to that next level. Keep pushing it forward. And believe in who you are. When I got hurt, I got real introspective, because you get tired of people telling you you're cocky or egotistical, all those things. I just believed in my abilities. What's wrong with that? If you don't believe in who you are, who's going to believe in you? It all starts with us as individuals. Oh, no, but people want to tell you you're not that good. The confidence aspect of it is so important. So I analyzed why I believed. I believed because I could anticipate a situation. I'd get up under, look at a center, see him shaded that way, drop back, plant my foot in the ground, fire the ball to the left, one-on-one coverage. I try to anticipate. I try and educate myself. I want to know as much as I can about the opponent. And that's another thing I say to every one of you that have won awards. Make education number 1 on your list. Because somehow, some way, your athletic skills can be taken away from you. Some of us have experienced it. And then what do you have? Just what you've managed to put in these 6 inches between your ears. It's your education. So I try and educate myself. Tom Watson, the founder of IBM, once said this: you work the first 8 hours of the day for survival. Everything after that is an investment in our future. It's the same way with your training. When you're working with a coach, They can take you so far. You get great by taking it to the next level. But then you find yourself with confidence that allows you to take chances in life. That's why we get places, because we're willing to take a chance. Everybody in this room, do me a favor. I want to show you something. Just fold your arms for me comfortably and naturally, would you please? Just please fold your arms for me comfortably. At home, do the same thing. Just fold your arms comfortably and naturally. All right? Just fold them comfortably and naturally. All right? Now fold them the other way. Don't look at the person next to you. That's cheating. Isn't it amazing? I ask you to fold your arms. You do it comfortably and naturally. I look around the audience. It looks like a mini disco. Is it wrong that I ask you to fold your arms the other way? No. You know what it is? It's different. I've asked you to step outside that silo of life. I've asked you to try and extend yourself beyond where you think you can go. Don't be afraid to take a chance. I did. 1985, we played the Chicago Bears in Soldiers Field. Unbelievable football team. I can close my eyes today, and I can see those Chicago Bears like they're right here. You know why? Because they were right here all day. But I can see them like they're here. Mike Singletary, Otis Wilson, Wilbur Marshall, Fridge Perry, Steve McMichael, Richard Dent, like they're here in my grill the entire day. But we had a 10-point lead on the Bears. We kicked the ball away from Willie Gault 3 times, fastest man in football. Now we have a 10-point lead. Let's kick the ball to Willie. I'm standing on the sidelines. I watch the ball go through the air. Willie starts to run. I'm going, whoa, look at Willie run. Whoa, look at Willie really run. No, Willie doesn't have to run anymore. He's in our end zone. Touchdown. Scores 10-7 on that play. The guy that kicks off for us is also our punter. He tears the thigh muscle. We don't have a punter. Joe Gibbs is walking around going, what am I going to do? I thought, what a great opportunity in life. How hard can it be to punt? Drop the ball, raise your foot, piece of cake. I walked up to Coach Gibbs. I said, Coach, you looking for a punter? He says, yeah, I don't know what to do. I said, I can punt. He said, you can what? I said, I can punt. How hard can it be? Drop the ball, raise my foot, piece of cake. He looked at me, he says, fine, next time we punt, you punt. I go running on the field. I'm no longer Joe Theismann, quarterback. I'm Joe Theismann, punter. We get the ball at our own 13-yard line, run a running play, gain 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 from our own 15. I look to the sidelines, and Coach wants me to throw the ball. I'm thinking, great. Chances are we're not going to complete this because I got a personal relationship with the punter. I drop back, pick out a kid in the 3rd row. Woo, I'm into the stands. Darn shucks, incomplete. 3rd and 8 wants me to throw another one. I still have that relationship with the punter. I bounce this one into the ground. 4th and 8, guess we got a punt. Offense runs off the field. Kicking team runs on. They're going, Joe, kick it right, kick it right. I'm going, hey, just get it back here. No problem whatsoever. I'm standing on the goal line in Soldiers Field. Ball's on the 15-yard line. I'm looking up going, Mom, look at me. I'm a punter in the National Football League. How great is this? All of a sudden, I took the snap, ball hit my hand. Have you ever had your world go into slow motion? The instant that ball touched my hand, the roar of the crowd. Whoa. I'm thinking, kick the ball right. Raised my foot. Pow! Ball goes spiraling through the air, hung in the air, 16 yards. I'm back 15. You can do this math. That's right. Shortest punt in the history of the National Football League. That's who's addressing you this evening, a record holder. But you can't be afraid to take the chance. People come up to me and say, oh, Theismann, you were a failure as a punter. Ha! Never had a failure in my life, only an educational experience that did not go my way. That's how you have to look at life. It has to be you have to be willing to do those things. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Don't be afraid to reach. As coaches, as athletes, we don't think about pushing the athlete far enough. I think of Bill Belichick, who I respect tremendously, the New England Patriots coach. He does a great thing up in New England. I call it E squared. He creates an environment where athletes have an expectation of success. When you become a New England Patriot, you don't win the division. That's not something you aspire to. You don't win the conference. That's not something you aspire to. You win the championship. You want to be the best. I think of Randy Moss. Unbelievable year he had back when the Pats were 18-1 in that particular year. 23 touchdowns. Tom Brady threw 50. But yet before that, Randy Moss had been an Oakland Raider. He had a leg problem. He couldn't catch. He couldn't run. He just wasn't the same dynamic football player that we'd seen before. And then all of a sudden, he's in New England. And he's like the old Randy Moss, that young kid that used to run like a gazelle down the field. Why? Because the environment was created, and there was an expectation for him to be special. I say this to every one of you coaches out there. Create that environment, and then expect something from your athletes. We like to give people passes today. We like to allow people some time off, or you can't quite get it done. That's okay. We'll move practice. I say hold them to a standard. I think everybody in this room, everybody watching, everybody in this world wants to be held to a standard. And I again want to take a second right now to thank those members of the military that are in this room tonight, and to those of you watching who are families of military members that are defending the freedoms of us in this great North American country and area that we live in. It's because of you that we're here. I hear people all the time walk up to you as an athlete and say, "Oh, you're my hero." I appreciate that, but I humbly decline. I am not a hero. I was a man that God gave an arm to that allowed him to throw the football and legs to be able to run. I received a gift. The heroes are those, as was recognized on this day of Boston Strong. The firemen, the policemen, our military service, our men and women that serve overseas and around the world. They're heroes. And we ought to tell and let the young in this country know who the real heroes are. Just because you sign a $100 million contract doesn't make you a hero. But if you go and fight for the freedoms of this nation, you're my hero. And that's the way we have to look at people. I also think about what motivates us in our lives. What gets us going? What makes you excited about life? I drive my wife nuts. I used to have a lot of energy. I've calmed down just a little bit. But my feet hit the floor. I can't wait to see what the day's adventure is all about. But there are things I think out there that motivate us. And I hear people say, "Oh, money motivates you." No, money's a byproduct of loving what you're doing and being good at it. You make money. Pride. Pride in who we are. Pride in who we represent. Pride to be here tonight at the Wespys. The job that Dominic and everybody involved has done, the sponsors for their sponsorship, the commitments that they've made to make this special. They take great pride, as the sponsors are listed up here, and as you look at the great athletes that are recognized. Pride represents us. I had a kicker by the name of Mark Mosley I played with. Mark was an MVP in 1982. Mo was special. I'll never forget this little saying that he taught me. We were getting ready to play the Philadelphia Eagles late in November. Rainy, ugly, miserable day. Mark is standing in front of the mirror fixing his hair. Had a great cough, by the way, great hair. I'm standing next to him putting my eye black on because that's what we did. But you never want to bother somebody when they're getting ready to go. You just don't. I've learned that being married. You just don't walk up to your wife and say, "How much longer?" Okay? You just locked in 15 more minutes. Go read a book. Go watch a TV show. Go get something to drink. You're going to be there that much longer. No insult to the ladies, but that's the way it is. I mean, that's the way it is in my house. So Mark's standing there fixing his hair, and I'm looking at the mirror, put my eye black on, and going, "Mark, it's raining outside." "Oh, yeah, it's raining pretty hard." "You plan on wearing a helmet today?" "Oh, yeah, I'm going to wear a helmet." I said, "Well, why are you fixing your hair?" And without ever taking his eyes off the mirror, he just continued to move his hair around. He said, "Joe, I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud of who I represent." And that has always stayed with me. I'm proud of who I am, and I'm proud of who I represent. As you go out and compete in athletic endeavors, I say this to the young athletes here, you represent yourself, you represent the club, the high school, the university, you represent the sport. You do it with great pride because you truly are a reflection of everyone and everything you touch. Recognition is so vitally important. Here we are tonight recognizing athletes. And I say this to you as well. Just because you've received 1 or 2 or 3 Wespys, don't let that be the end. Don't be satisfied with just that. That's why I wear these humble little pieces of jewelry. The World Championship ring on this hand and the NFC Championship ring on this hand. I look at that ring so often and I ask myself why. Why were we so lucky to win? Because we had an unselfish group of men who would not be denied, who didn't care who got the credit. And we wound up winning a world championship. And then I look at this ring, the NFC Championship ring from Super Bowl 18. 541 points. Joe Theismann, MVP of the National Football League. I was good. Oh, I just won it the year before. Look at how great I was. Went rolling down to Tampa to play the Raiders. I'd already been a champion, see? Got my ring. So I'm going to enjoy the Super Bowl experience. I did. Final score, 38 for the Raiders, 9 for the Redskins. Because Joe Theismann didn't focus on the task at hand, but he focused on yesterday's performance. For all the award winners, I congratulate you. But the awards are now past. We move towards the 2014 season. The other thing, I want to just tell you 2 little quick stories and finish this way. John Riggins and I were being inducted into the Ring of Honor at RFK Stadium. And I'll never forget standing there on the 50-yard line, and John was supposed to be standing next to me, but he wasn't. Now, we'd lost John from time to time. He was quite the colorful character, but this was not a good time. And as we stood there at halftime, ran down, the crowd started getting a little restless, and then all of a sudden they started to cheer and clap and applaud, and out of the Redskin dugout came John Riggins in full battle regalia. He had been retired 6 years. I had been retired 7. I stood there on the field in my suit like a broken-down old football player. John came out and stood next to me in full uniform. Oh, he looked good. Looked fabulous. And I looked at him, I said, Johnny, you really are something. He said, yes, I am, aren't I? Then I asked him my second favorite word. Why, John? Why the get-up? And he said, Joe, I had to hear it one more time. I had to hear the applause. I had to hear that diesel sound that they made when I ran. Don't make this your last trophy. Don't make this your last nomination. Make it one of many as you go forward. But I believe the greatest motivator of all is one simple thing, and that's fear. Fear motivates us. This room's about 40 yards long. Reggie White, the great defensive end, God rest his soul, to the Green Bay Packers. 6'7", 315 pounds. Ran a 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds. Joe Theismann can run that same distance in 5 seconds flat. Common sense is telling you if Reggie's chasing Joe, he's going to catch him. I'm telling you, not if fear is a motivator. I can run 4.5. Flew into Buffalo, New York one night, checked into a hotel, asked a young lady at the desk. I said, ma'am, I'd like to go get something to eat. She said, across this field's an all-night diner. I said, great. I started out into the night, looked back, saw her smiling face. I thought, wow, she's done something nice for somebody. She feels good about it. That wasn't the case at all. She sent this idiot out across a graveyard. She's laughing at me. Hello, stupid football player. You guys really are dumb. I didn't care. I was hungry. All of a sudden, bang, I fell in the grave. Whoa. Start digging and digging and digging. I can't get out. Now the analytical mind of the quarterback starts. It's 4 a.m. It's pitch dark. I'm in the middle of a graveyard. Logical conclusion, if I start yelling for help, who in their right mind is going to come and save me? Nobody. But if I throw a coat over myself, wait till daylight, scream like heck, maybe someone will come. I'm laying there. About 20 minutes later, bang, another guy falls in over here. He doesn't see me lying down over there. He starts digging and digging and digging, finally throws his hands in the air. He says, by golly, I'll never get out of here. I said, you know, I felt the same way. You've never seen anybody motivated like that in your life. One step, he's gone. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my privilege and an honor to be able to spend some time with you this evening. To the athletes that have received your awards, I congratulate you. To the athletes who will receive awards as we additionally go on, I congratulate you. But to everyone in this room, I thank you for giving me a chance to come back home to a country I love, Canada. Thank you.
Mr. Theismann, please allow me to be the first to say welcome home and come back anytime for a visit. As a community partner, as a father, and as a friend, I want to thank you for reminding me the power of sacrifice, the power of goals, the power of sport, and for highlighting two words, opportunity and humility. And on behalf of Dominic Papa, all the citizens of Windsor-Essex County, Investors Group, and the Wespys, we'd like to present to you a commemorative ring representing your visit here to the Wespys, and you can take that with you as a memory. Thank you.
We'll be right back to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, sponsored in part by AM 800, Oktoberfest, and St. Clair College. We thank everybody for listening and watching, including Australia.
Imagine a place to climb, to tumble, to fly, to run, to glide, to achieve, where a sense of health, friendly competition, and growth all come together. Can you imagine that place, that destination? We have, and we're building it right now in Windsor, with a planned development of almost 200,000 square feet of athletic playground, and that's just on the inside. Central Park Athletics, some of it's already here, the rest is coming soon. Imagine that.
Plan to dream.
If I can have your attention for just 1 minute, please.
Plan to learn.
For tonight's 50-50 draw
Plan to smile.
is 479.
Plan to succeed.
951. That number once again,
Plan to invest.
479.
Plan to nurture.
51.
Plan to leave to others. Investors Group. Let us help you provide for the people you care about, now and over time. The Plan by Investors Group.
Welcome back to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, sponsored in part by Windsor Minor Hockey Association, AAA Zone, and University of Windsor Lancers. Once again, here's Dominic Papa.
Thanks a lot, Mark, and thanks a lot, folks, again. How is Joe? What do you think? Not bad? All I have to say to Mr. Theismann at this point is, why, Joe? Why, Joe? You've just set the bar that much higher for me for next year, Joe.
Yeah, he did.
Anyways, we thank Mr. Theismann, outstanding, and certainly our honor to have Joe Theismann as the 9th Annual Keynote Speaker. We're going to get into the awards again. We want to finish up the night. We're in the home stretch here. Things are moving along nicely. We're going to go to one of our major awards. Again, one of the very important awards, a very special award to all of us. We all know what took place a few years back with our captain, Mickey Reno. He will forever be our captain. Yes, give Mickey a round of applause. He would like to hear that. He's with us. It's always my honor to get this award out here. It's become a very, very hard contested award because we have so many tremendous leaders in our community. No different with the nominees this year for the Mickey Reynolds Captain Leadership Award. Let's send it over to Patty Handysides, and she can introduce our nominees. Patty?
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, WMHA and AAA Zone, Dean Lapierre and Ryan Baldwin, along with Mark and Jane Reno. The Mickey Reno Captain's Leadership Award, Mason Bekas, AKO Fratman, Alana Jemmy, St. Anne Catholic High School, Justin Orton, Essex District High School.
Thank you. I'm here tonight to present the Mickey Reno Captain's Leadership Award. It's an award that's very near and dear to our hearts. First, I want to say, as always, thank you to Dominic for having this award. It means a lot to our family, and it's very nice to be here to have Mickey remembered this way. I always tell the recipients that this is the best award that you can win. The reason why I say that is it not only speaks to your abilities as a great athlete, but it speaks to your character. That's what's most important. I think that's what Joe was just speaking about, and it was, as he so eloquently put it. Mickey was a great hockey player. He was a great leader. He was a great captain. Most of all, he was a great young man of courage and of compassion. This year, it's my honor to present this year's Mickey Reno Captain's Award to Alana Jemmy.
Alana competed in 4 high school sports. She's captain of 3 teams, teaches youth swimming, and completed over 180 hours of community service. Her teammates refer to her as glue for the team. Her dream is to become a pediatrician one day. Alana Jemmy, Mickey Reno Captain's Leadership Award, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipient. Now let's head over to see Kara Rowe in the Drive Logistics interview zone. Kara, who do you have over there?
Thanks, Patty. I'm here with Gil Langlois, head coach for the Essex 73s. And, you know, fantastic stuff you've been doing the last 3 years. Most people jump into a coaching position because maybe things aren't working out. You had to take over the shoes of Tony Peroski. We all know, legendary coach. We know what the 73s have been doing year after year. Was that a thought that went through your mind, taking over that type of position?
Well, he certainly had big shoes to fill when we went in there, and you know, Tony is a legend in Essex, and he has quite a legacy left behind that we you know, grabbed a hold of and tried to emulate him, and you know, get the same kind of success as he had.
Now you're doing amazing. Your first year, you guys went to the semis. Then last year, the finals. Looking for the W this year. You're going into the finals this weekend for Ontario. What's going to be different this year so you take home the cup?
Well, I think that this year we're better prepared. So being in the finals last year, you know, the guys, the returning players got to see what it was going to take in order to win. And I think that this year's group is better prepared mentally, and hopefully we can bring her home on the weekend.
And how much did that hurt you guys last year with Corey being out with an injury? And what will that add this year? We saw him pick up that Wespy Award.
Well, I mean, Corey's leadership is not just what he does on the ice, but what he does off the ice for the hockey club, too. So certainly having Corey there healthy for the whole series puts us in a lot better position than we were in last year.
And Gil, what does that mean when you see, I mean, I heard your table, you guys are rowdy. I mean, hockey players are always rowdy, right? But winning that award, you guys were so excited. What does that mean for you guys?
Well, again, you know, if you know Corey and you know Corey off the ice, he's such a nice individual. I mean, he comes from good family. He was, you know, his mannerisms and his politeness is goes without saying. So when he won, he actually represents exactly what the Essex 73s try to portray in the community and whatnot. And he's a perfect example of, you know, what you should be doing as an athlete.
And Gil, last question. How perfect did this work out that you got a chance to hear that inspirational speech by Joe Theismann right before going into the finals? I mean, what can you take away from that?
Well, I think that, you know, Mr. Theismann's message was huge. It goes on to talk about how, you know, you can bring it up the next step. And I certainly think that we can take pieces of his speech and turn it into some motivation in the dressing room.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's wish the 73s good luck this weekend and they head into the finals.
Thanks a lot, Coach Langlois. Thanks a lot, Kara. Great job over there in the Drive Logistics interview zone. We're going to continue on with the awards. Swimming is a category that came on board, I should say, a couple of years ago with the Wespys. With our new facility downtown, I can imagine it's only going to get better and better each and every year. Let's find out who the nominees are for this year's swimming category. Patty?
Thanks, Dom.
Oh, sorry about that, Mark.
Please welcome from our presenting partner, Dave Hitchcock Chevrolet, Dave Hitchcock. The female swimming nominees include Sadie Fazikis, Windsor Essex Swim Team. Amber Leffler, Windsor Essex Swim Team. Kylie Moss, Windsor Essex Swim Team. The male nominees, Andrew Binder, Windsor Essex Swim Team. Cody Lavoie, Windsor Essex Swim Team. Aaron Norg, Windsor Essex Swim Team.
And the winners are, the female recipient is Kylie Moss. And the male recipient is Cody Levoy.
Kylie was a silver medalist in the 50 and 100 fly, a gold medalist in the 100 fly, and 3 different relay races, all while maintaining secondary school honor roll. A 3-time provincial champion and Canadian junior medalist with 5 all-time Windsor Essex regional records, Cody qualified in 5 national events. Kylie Moss and Cody Lavoie, swimming 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
All right, I'll make sure I'm on the right page here and don't call for Patty and get Mark here. Figure skating is our next category. Figure skating came on board with us last year, and they were after us for a couple of years to become part of the Wespys, and we're certainly very appreciative that they have come on board, and they've been a tremendous asset for us, very supportive of this ceremony, and we certainly thank them for their support and certainly bringing their great athletes to this event each and every year. So with that said, we have the nominees for the 9th Annual Wespy Awards in the figure skating category. Patty, please.
Thanks, Tom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Meridian Financial, Rolanda Tybe with Dilva Cillier and Nina Furtado. The figure skating nominees are Molly Gannam, Riverside Skating Club. Cassandra Korchog, South Windsor Skating Club. Madeline Potts, South Windsor Skating Club.
And the winner is Cassandra Korchog.
Cassandra skated at the highest and most competitive level of any other skater in Windsor, Essex, earning a bronze medal in a competition in Paris, Ontario. Cassandra Korchog, figure skating, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipient.
Okay, continuing on. One of my favorite sports, believe it or not, was volleyball. Yes, I know I don't look like a volleyball player. No, I could never spike, but I was a pretty good setter at one time, and I really did come to love the sport and enjoyed playing it. And again, we have just such outstanding volleyball here at St. Clair College at the university and the high school level. Again, the competition for this award is always very fierce, and I know our selection committee has a real tough time sometimes finding just one winner. With that said, the volleyball award this year is going to make a little bit of a change. I'll let everybody explain it to you, and certainly we look forward to many more years of presenting this very special volleyball award. Mark, what do you have for us?
Please welcome from our presenting partner, Healthy Creations Incorporated, Chris Brecka.
Thank you so much. Tonight, we are paying special tribute to a very dear friend of mine who passed away a year ago in February, a very prominent figure in our volleyball community, Tim Hommel. Tim was a teacher with the Catholic School Board for almost 40 years, and in those 40 years, he spent a lot of time coaching. And he coached volleyball at many levels. He also coached soccer and basketball. but I would like to pay particular attention to his commitment and dedication to not just the sport, but to his athletes and the inspiration that he provided for us, myself included. And I wanted to thank Dominic for allowing us to rename this volleyball award after Tim. So tonight is the first presentation of the Tim Hommel Volleyball Wespy Award.
And the nominees in female volleyball: Katie Bro, General Amherst Secondary School, South County Bandits. Madison Daly, Bell River District High School, South County Bandits. Alyssa Garrett, General Amherst Secondary School, South County Bandits. The male nominees: Cameron Branch, Essex District High School. Liam Palmer, Walkerville Secondary School, South County Bandits. Lucas Palmer, Walkerville Secondary School, South County Bandits. A WEXA and SWASA champion and OFSA silver medalist, she is the only Canadian to ever receive a volleyball scholarship to the University of Indiana. First team All-City, collegiate senior MVP, first place in Tier 1, top male athlete, pre-tournament champ, and beach volleyball national champ. Chris, please tell us who the recipients are.
Our female recipient is Alyssa Garrett. And our male recipient, or I should say recipients, Liam and Lucas Palmer.
Records are identical. It's unbelievable.
A new name for the award and a first time ever Wespy, a tie in volleyball. Alyssa Garrett and Liam and Lucas Palmer, Tim Hommel Volleyball 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
We just didn't want to fight in the Palmer house, that's all. So we did it the safe way. Just to let you know also, Chris Breck, I want to give a shout out to Chris. Not only has she created the Tim Hommel Volleyball Award, but she's also created a scholarship with it. So if you do want to contribute to it, look it up. And each and every year, Chris is going to put a scholarship together. So thank you for doing that, Chris. All right, track and field. Boy, do we ever have a lot of fast people in this city, in this county. And one of the fastest guys in the distance running area anyways, Brandon McBride, of course, who's going to probably represent Canada one day at the Olympics. He's pretty much owned this award on the men's side for the last 3 years. Can he make it forward? We'll have to wait and see. Patty's got the nominees.
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Sasha Militak, Remax Realty, and Andre Militak. For female track and field, Melissa Bishop, Windsor alumni. Noelle Montcalm, Windsor alumni. Sierra Wolf, Essex District High School. The male track and field nominees: Brandon Allen, General Amherst Secondary School. Aaron Bowman, Windsor Lancers. Brandon McBride, Windsor Legion.
And the 2014 Female Wespy Award winner is Melissa Bishop. And the 2014 Male Wespy Award winner for the 4th year in a row is Brandon McBride.
Melissa is the undisputed 800-meter national champion with wins in Toronto, Edmonton, and Vancouver. She's currently ranked 25th in the world. Brandon won gold at the Canadian Juniors, bronze and gold at the Pan Am Juniors, more gold and 2 records at the Canadian Summer Games in Sherbrooke. Melissa Bishop and Brandon McBride, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients, track and field. Brandon is away training at Mississippi State. Accepting for him is his mother, Marquita Borders. Melissa's working on high-altitude training in Flagstaff, Arizona, and accepting on her behalf is Richard Johnson.
We'll be right back to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, sponsored in part by McTagg Law Firm, Spine, Joint, and Sports Injuries Clinic, and Meridian Financial.
Imagine a place to climb, to tumble, to fly, to run, to glide, to achieve, where a sense of health, friendly competition, and growth all come together. Can you imagine that place, that destination? We have, and we're building it right now in Windsor, with a planned development of almost 200,000 square feet of athletic playground, and that's just on the inside. Central Park Athletics, some of it's already here, the rest is coming soon. Imagine that.
Plan to dream. Plan to learn. Plan to smile. Plan to succeed. Plan to invest. Plan to nurture. Plan to leave to others. Investors Group. Let us help you provide for the people you care about, now and over time. The Plan by Investors Group.
Welcome back to the 9th Annual Wespy Awards, sponsored in part by Copycat Printing and North Star Cultural Community Center. And now, Don Papa.
Thanks a lot, Mark. And we're in the home stretch, folks. Hang in there. We're getting down to the wire here. A couple more awards to go, a couple of major awards, and we can call it a night. And the 9th Annual Wespy Awards will be history. Before we get into the next award, I'd like to thank CKLW AM 800 Radio, led by Keith Chinnery and the gang, for simulcasting our award ceremony tonight. Also, the hard-working crews that I mentioned earlier back there from Week Television and also Atlas Productions. Give them a round of applause. They're making all of this happen. So thank you to those groups for their support of the 9th Annual Wespy Awards. One other group that I want to mention is our other co-presenting partner here tonight, Central Park Athletics. The two individuals, James and Leanne King. I asked them to come up and say a few words tonight, but they didn't want to come up. So I'm going to say a few words for them. And, you know, if you ever get to know James and Leanne, and if you've ever had a chance to look at their vision, that's really becoming reality now over there on Grand Maris. It's outstanding. James and Leanne have been big supporters of the Wespy Awards, but they go beyond that. They're involved with figure skating with their kids. They also have sponsored hockey, Windsor Minor Hockey. I know they've sponsored soccer programs. They've always made themselves available to our community. And they are leaders in our community. They are so giving with what they have, with their hard work, what they've accomplished. They want to give it back. And folks, when you see Central Park Athletics, it's almost there. I took a tour the other day with James. It's almost complete. This is going to be one magnificent facility for our city, and all James and Leanne want to do is make it available to our city. So for that, we are so grateful. We are so thankful. And again, support this group, because I'll tell you what, they will not hesitate to give back to the hockey, to the football, to the baseball, to the soccer. They're there for us, and they've proven that time and time again. So to James and Leanne, thank you. Our next award is we renamed the award last year, Eventually, I think all of these awards will have names on them, only because we have to keep people names alive and the people that have done great things over the years for us. Last year, our keynote speaker was another outstanding individual. Much like Mr. Joe Theismann, we had Ken Dryden speak here last year, and we wanted to give a gift to Mr. Dryden, and he didn't want a ring, he didn't want anything, he didn't want this. We didn't know, Mr. Theismann didn't know about the ring, so we surprised that on him, and I'm glad he did accept it. But we decided to put the Executive of the Year, a new award that we created a couple of years ago, in the name of Ken Dryden. Ken Dryden's kind of nerdy anyways, and he's an executive type, so it was a perfect combination to put Ken Dryden's name on this thing. And again, he was so very generous to this Wespy Award ceremony. So, with that said, we're going to hear who are the nominees for the Ken Dryden Executive of the Year.
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner Investors Group, Trevor LeDrew and Jeff Matteau. The Ken Dryden Executive of the Year nominees: Dan DeMarco, Jameson Golf Tour; Tom Laporte, Riverside Baseball; Chris Wojnarowski, Essex 73s.
And the winner is Tom Laporte.
A member of the Riverside Baseball Association for 25 years and a board member for 22, 15 years as umpire-in-chief and 5 years as grounds crew chief. He served 5 years as president of Riverside Minor Baseball Association. Tom Laporte, Riverside Baseball, the Ken Dryden Executive of the Year.
I want to thank, first of all, Dominic Poppin and his great committee here for once again putting on a great show and working hard all year to make this happen. This award is shared most with Riverside Minor Baseball Association. When I first started with them, it was almost contagious, the enthusiasm and the desire to bring the great game of baseball to the children of Windsor and especially in the Riverside area. Our House League, our umpires, and our travel program are second to none. When we hosted it for 8 years, the national tournament, it was showing the rest of the country that Windsor can be number one. I want to thank the past presidents of Riverside Baseball, especially Bill Kell, for allowing me to carry on the legacy. But most of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Lana, for allowing me to continue in my ambitions. Thank you.
Wrestling is up next in one of our regular sport awards. Wrestling, again, very, very solid in our area. This category has been dominated by the high school wrestlers, and to be honest with you, I don't think there's going to be much of a change this year. Patty, you have the nominees, I believe.
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Spine, Joint, and Sports Injuries Clinic, Anthony Master de Casa. The female wrestling nominees: Kayla Bono, LaSoar Wrestling Club; Jade Dufour, LaSoar Wrestling Club; Caitlin Pretley, Windsor Wrestling Club. The male wrestling nominees are Yusuf Klaib, Windsor Wrestling Club; Hassan Hawilo, Windsor Wrestling Club; Andrew McKenzie, Windsor Wrestling Club.
And the winners are Jay Dufour and Yusuf Klaib.
Jay Dufour was the WEXA, SWASA, and OFSA champion, as well as the Ontario and Canadian age group champion in 2013. In 2013, Yusuf too was a WEXA, SWASA, and OFSA champion, including the Ontario age group Bronze Medal Award. Jade Dufour and Yusuf Klaib, wrestling, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipients.
now time to get to our next award. I'll get my paperwork in place here. The Horseman of the Year. Here's an industry that has been hit very hard. In fact, the industry has almost been wiped out, unfortunately. But we have a group out in the county area that's working diligently to keep it alive. With that said, I'm going to let Mark tell the story, and we will present our John Ferguson Circle of Seven Horseman of the Year Award.
Please welcome our presenting partner, North Star Cultural Community Center, Mr. Ron Brown from the Wespy Organizing Committee. In an attempt to determine the nominees for the Horseperson of the Year Award, there were many things to consider. The racing industry in Windsor and Essex County has changed greatly due to the closure of Windsor Raceway, which resulted in many individuals in the racing business who previously resided in Essex County relocating. However, with the efforts of one small group of people, the Lakeshore Raceway Group was formed. Through their persistence and incredible efforts, they proved racing did indeed have a future in Essex County. With the help of many volunteers and a partnership arrangement with the Leamington Agricultural Society, the group was able to provide racing at the Leamington Racetrack in 2013. Their efforts prove there is not only support of local horse people, but they also garnered backing from the community for the sport. Accepting the award from the Lakeshore Raceway Group, please welcome Mark Williams and Paul Branton. Lakeshore Raceway Group, John Ferguson Circle of Seven Horsemen of the Year, 9th Annual Wespy Award recipient.
All right, give another round of applause to that group. They're still trying so hard, and I just hope there's a way we can find a way to keep them going and have them rebound back into a very solid. It creates a lot of jobs for us, that's for sure. We're going to get off. Let me see where we are going here. All right. I think we are going to go off track here a little bit. That's why I'm a little confused. Every year now at this ceremony, Windsor Minor Hockey Association uses our platform to present, again, a very important special award. It's the Bob Probert Community Award. I'm going to ask Mr. Dean Lapierre to come on up and make his announcement.
We'd like to welcome to the stage Dean Lapierre, along with Danny Probert and Brogan Probert.
And the WMHA Bob Probert Community Award goes to Maximum Edge.
Yeah, sure. First off, I'd just like to actually thank Windsor Minor Hockey. I know Dean and all the people there, their kids are long gone, and they still stay and help out the kids and give the kids somewhere to play hockey. And just like to thank everybody. Thank you.
And now let's head over to the Drive Logistics interview zone with Kara Rowe. And Kara has a very special guest. Kara?
Thanks, Mark. I'm here with the inspiration for the Courage and Determination Award, Holly Levine. We're so honored to have her here. Also her parents, Kathy and Corey. Now, first off, I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts and how did you relay this message to Holly when the doctor said she'll never compete in gymnastics again?
I guess I didn't ever say that to her. It was a question whether she could or couldn't compete, but to look in her eyes and try and tell her that it wasn't something I could do. We just said we would see how it goes.
Now, and what was it like for the people stepping up around you to help make her dream happen, for her to step back, in the gymnastics arena?
Well, certainly Kathy really stepped up on our end, and our physiotherapist, Chuck Smith, was phenomenal for Holly. And I mean, Holly built a really strong relationship with Chuck over the course of that, what it was about six to 8 weeks with Chuck. It was just phenomenal. Dr. Pepin, again, just great. And the school, I mean, everybody really around created such a support group for Holly. Her friends at WinStars, and it just never ended.
Now, Kathy, obviously as a mom, you have to be super strong for your child. Watching her go back on those bars, what was that like for you? How did you mentally prepare to watch her go through that again?
I didn't watch. It took me a while to actually look at her on the bars. I think I cringed, and it took me a lot of practice to actually see her go.
Now, Corey, obviously, Joe Theismann, everyone knows Joe Theismann. We know what he's done. What is it like to hear him mention your daughter in his speech over and over?
Yeah, it's surreal, to be honest. And thanks, Joe. I mean, my dad was such a big Argonaut fan growing up, and so we heard a lot about Joe, even before the Redskin era. But yeah, that's just fantastic, and I think it's great to have Holly, and this younger generation hear someone like Joe speak, and to sort of see what Joe went through and sort of really understand, where does she go from here?
Amazing stuff. Now, Holly, I'm going to come to you. What was that moment like after the first time you completed the uneven bars after your injury?
It was nice to be back, and I was never really scared to do it. I was just scared that I couldn't do it again.
And so it must have been a great sense of accomplishment. How does it feel that you are the inspiration for an award here with the Wespy Awards?
I feel like special and honored.
So how are you preparing for, when you're going to the provincials now? Oh, you just finished. Now, how does it feel that you're coming up with these, second place awards?
Good.
Well, we just want to thank you for being a part of our night tonight and being an inspiration to all of us. You're amazing. Thanks, guys. Back to you, Dom.
Great job, Kara, and certainly, Holly, thank you for coming tonight. Pleasure to have you here with us taking in these awards. Only 4 more to go, folks, and we'll be history for the 9th year. Just a quick update for you. Windsor Express 107, Island Storm 88 final. Wow. Good news. There will be a Game 7. Coach of the Year. Again, a very important award, and I've had many coaches over the years, some great ones, and we all know how important it is to have that coach that can communicate, that can teach you some things, and just make you a better player. Time now to present our nominees for Coach of the Year. Let's go over to Patty.
Thanks, Dom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, Hocktoberfest, International Female Hockey Festival, Janice Dobson. Our Coach of the Year nominees, Dave Cooper, St. Clair College and Tecumseh Thunder Juniors. Mike Lachance, AKO Fratman. Chantal Vallée, Windsor Lancers.
The winner is Chantal Vallée.
"2013 was the culmination of a lot of hard work. Chantal led her team to a perfect 27-0 record in the regular season and postseason, capturing a 3rd straight CIS championship in the process. Chantal Vallée, Coach of the Year.
Thank Thank you very much. Thank you, Dominic, for organizing these outstanding awards. Coaches, we're very privileged. We inherit of awards when our players perform well. So I wanted to highlight my two terrific captains, Maya-Marie Langlois and Jessica Clemenceau, who are here tonight. And the reason I want to highlight them is because in their first year as Lancers, we brought the team to the first national championship final ever. And we lost, right? So you know we won a silver medal. And then we look at each other, and I knew I had some special athletes to work with. And we decided, losing sucks. And, you know, Joe, you like that. And, you know, actually when you were doing your speech, I was thinking about these athletes because just like you were talking about always wanting more and never being satisfied. And that resonates within me. That's really who I am as a coach. And I had the chance and privilege to coach two outstanding athletes that look at me in the eyes and says, we are never going to lose a national championship again. And 4 years later, as they finish their career as Windsor Lancer, they have won 4 straight national championships. So they make me look good, and also just want to highlight my assistant coach, Tom Foster, most loyal assistant coach ever, who, if there was assistant coach of the year, would have won for the last 9 Wespy awards. So congratulations to Tom, and I'm going to share this with you. Thank you.
Yeah, Chantel's pretty good, eh? Not bad. All right, now we're going to get into another major award. We're going to finish off with major awards like we do every year. Again, tremendous athletes. These categories for our selection committee, led by Royal Church, they have numerous meetings. This decision is not made in just one meeting. It's several meetings because there's just such a wealth of tremendous athletes in every category. And certainly when you get into these major awards, it just gets that much more intense. So I want to really commend the selection committee for toughing it out and doing a great job again. So I'm going to give it over to the voice of the Wespys here, Mr. Mark Knight, for this year's athletes in the Female of the Year category. Mark?
Thanks, Tom. Please welcome from our presenting partner, the University of Windsor, Mike Havey. Nominees for Female Athlete of the Year: Melissa Bishop, Windsor alumni; Alana Jemmy, St. Anne Catholic High School; Maya Marie Langlois, Windsor Lancers.
And this year's winner from the University of Windsor, Maya Marie Langlois.
With one Wespy Award already this evening, this young lady knows what it takes to lead and win. She is a 3-year CIS basketball champion, and as you heard, 4 now, but that'll be next year. Maya Marie Langlois, Windsor Lancers, Female Athlete of the Year. Please welcome from our presenting partner, St. Clair College, Mr. Ron Sagan. The nominees for Male Athlete of the Year: Eric Cunningham, Tecumseh Thunder Juniors; Khalil James, Catholic Central High School, Essex Ravens; Brandon McBride, Windsor Legion;
The Male Athlete of the Year is Khalil James.
Catholic Central Offensive Player of the Year, Wexa First Team All-City Running Back, Canada Cup MVP, and Essex Ravens Rookie of the Year.
I just wanted to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it's an honor. Thank you.
I hold in my hand the last card for the last award of the night. Well, nobody going to jeer me on that one? Good. I like that. All right. Team of the Year. Again, another category that just takes numerous meetings to just figure out who is the best team of the year. Right now, the Lady Lancers basketball team have a 2-year winning streak in this category. Patty, the nominees are?
Please welcome from our presenting partner, J.P. Thompson and Associates, Colin McDonald and Mark Bulio. The Team of the Year nominees, the Tecumseh Thunder Juniors, Windsor Lancers Women's Basketball, Windsor Stars Baseball,
And the winner is the University of Windsor Women's Basketball.
What more can be said about a team that's had Windsor on their feet cheering for 3 years in a row, 3 national championships, and a combined 9 Wespy awards? The Windsor Lancers women's basketball team. Accepting the award on behalf of the Lady Lancers are 2 All-Canadians, Jessica Clemenson and Maya Maria Langwise.
On behalf of Chantel, who's picking out another championship ring, we'd like to thank Dom for this very prestigious award and tremendous evening. And it's been our honor to represent the city and the University of Windsor throughout Canada and bring home these multiple championships. Thank you.
Where's my part? There she is, Miss Caro. I'll let you grab that other one. Yeah. That's it, folks. 9 is in the books. They told us we wouldn't get past 1.
We're here, number 9.
Here. Number 9.
A big thanks to our sponsors, Dino Kyoto with Unifor, also the King family. I just covered the Easter Seals Telethon that generates so much money for disabled children, and those guys brought in thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of money. It's amazing what you guys do, and thank you, King family and Mr. Kyoto and Unifor. We really appreciate your sponsorship tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To all the presenting partners here tonight, again, take a look through the program. Support those that are supporting us. Let's keep this community going strong. Let's keep it working together. And again, without all of them, none of this happens. So, Kara, as always, you've done a phenomenal job. You had some fun tonight.
I had a great time, and I have to say, with Joe Theismann's speech, so inspirational. He made me want to come out of retirement and fight again, but that means because of you, you would have to babysit my 1-year-old. So it's your fault if I step back in the ring.
All right,
Just
yes.
amazing. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Again, thank you to all of you that are here tonight. Again, you
And
made it a
Dominic
special
Papa,
night.
I mean, the creator of this. He had this vision, and this is what he's done. Honored to work with you.
Thank you, thank you. So let's call it a night. Let's really appreciate what we've accomplished here tonight, and certainly next year we'll look at maybe raising it another notch, and hopefully we'll make it another special night. I don't know if I can match Mr. Theismann next year, but we're going to try our hardest, that's for sure. Thank you to everybody. Have a great night. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you all again very soon.